All right, hey everybody, welcome to Track Feedback. Let's hope this stream is continuous today. Last week we had a stream that decided to stop and start and take a little rest. Hopefully it'll be on today. And I'm not sure, honestly, I've looked at a lot of what I could do differently. The next step is to get a new machine with better processing power so I can stream and not glitch out. So what's happening? First off, we're gonna do a quick Mixatecture label meeting after Track Feedback today. Got some new submissions in the techno genre, so we're gonna listen to those, stick them into some tempo ranges, and just maybe talk a little bit about what's gonna be the first compilation, if it's gonna be house or techno, and how to put that together. Because that's coming up in June. I don't have a release date yet. Maybe the 20th on the summer solstice, you know, like give us a couple weeks in June. And I'm super excited to develop that and get into some promo, maybe some more interviews, and really show the excitement we have in this group for making cool music and spreading it. So, what are you guys talking about? Scott Burke, I just got your track at the last second. I got DJ Waters' track. We're gonna start off with the Matt Schultz. So let me pause that. And on a personal note, this track is one that I've been working on. I'm at the phase right now where I added all the layers and it's kind of sitting, like marinating for a couple of days. So I haven't done studio work on it. The next step is gonna go through and just build out 6 minutes or something where the different layers combine and interact. And my favorite thing right now is that there's a resonator on this conga loop. And it comes out with that drum break triggering the gate on the conga loop. So that's a lot of really busy rhythm and stuff going on. Usually what I do is when I stack up that many layers, I put it on my mind as like, okay, that's gonna be like the main peak when everything's happening and the rest of the composition process is building up towards that. Yeah, Jesper is here. Cool. Matt Schultz is here. And last piece of news, my favorite thing about doing track feedback is I see patterns of what is happening in people's music. Sometimes like an episode will have a pattern, like there's 3 tracks with a conga drum or a whole bunch of tracks that are talking about like organizing instruments into frequency bands with bandpass filters or something. And that's fun on the episode basis. But after like 2 weeks of doing these videos, and I mean 2 years of doing these videos and like 4 years of doing track feedback, I see general patterns of stuff that everybody deals with in their music, no matter what genre. So what I'm excited about doing now is shifting to do more videos of applied techniques with EQing, sidechaining, compression, stereo mixes, whatever, and actually just really go in and show the techniques I use for the problems that we all face and connect those to my online courses where you can download hands-on activities and learn by practicing and stuff inside. So it's really fun for me to just connect all these pieces and pull them together. So that's coming up. Get ready. And now EQ flat, stereo, and Matt Schultz with Matt Baker and the Electribe, the Red Electribe. Let's get our meters in view. Where's my meter? Got to see my broadcast level so I don't blast your head. Push that up a little bit. Cool. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. Robert's here. Machine Soul Records. Congratulations on that release. OSP got your track. Good. Everybody's here. What's up, everybody? The reason I'm talking so much is because so far it sounds great. I like the effects. I like the atmosphere too. That's interesting. Max, one of the cleanest kicks I've heard in a long time. And we got the Matt Schultz nice big sub lump. Whoa. Whoa. Matt, I'm going to disagree. Recording the pad sound new because of the arrhythmical sound. I think that is a cool pad. The rhythm is cool. It doesn't have to be totally beat locked for me. I don't think it's a problem. I think those stabs could be louder. Those chord stabs. Yeah, those chords could definitely be louder and have more of a lower mid frequency to get them heavier, like goof. That one exactly right there. That is a nice kick. I'm gonna boost up the EQ in the lows a little bit. I mean low mids. In this sound, those chords somewhere around 400 or 500 hertz, I think would be a great way to thicken that sound up and get it more dense in the track because there's so much space in the track. Go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And before we do the fade out, there was a phrasing thing with a hi-hat that I wanted to count out. 2, 3, okay, counting from here, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right, good. The new shaker came in on 17. That hi-hat at 3 minutes 01 came in at like 20, 21 bars or something like that. The little shaker came in at 17. That one at 254 was like I was counting 17, so let's count from there again. 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that new hi-hat at 301 came in, like the ticky fast sound came in and was in for 4 bars, and then the new hi-hat came in. My basic thing is when I first heard that new hi-hat at 301, I just thought that's too soon. Like there's so many sounds, they're entering at a nice pace, and the track has that cool pacing and feel. Like some music, every 4 bars, you can have like cut one kick drum out, drop in a new sound, and it's like awesome hyper. This track, that's too soon for that new hi-hat. So I don't know if this was a live jam or what, but if you could just pace that a little bit longer and wait 8 bars for a new sound to enter, I think it would make the song feel smoother. And that's hard when you're a listener and like a new sound comes in before you're ready for it, and you're kind of like, I wasn't locked in on the old sound yet. In other words, don't rush the mix, you know, that kind of thing. And then you're only at 5 minutes. For this jam, you could be 7 minutes and it would be fine. So basically maybe make it a little bit longer and give the elements space. to bring him in over time. I think you know what I mean. Matt says there's no phrasing thing with the hi-hats. Does that mean you didn't build the phrasing yet or what? But yeah. And then Matt, you said maybe multiband compression on the chords. I don't know. I would go to the chord sound and kind of undo whatever EQ or filters you have on there and let the low end come creeping down to like 200 or something, and then just maybe work with the original part of the sound before trying to like change it with extra stuff. If you could get more of the low mids in there by kind of undoing something already, that'd be my guess. Okay, and then let's check the outro. See if there's some train station voices or something in here. Yeah, what's a bar here and there among friends? Like those echoes. Chaka, 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 chaka. Yep. And the sound effects. Great. I mean, that track is pretty close to done. The mix is pretty good. Needs a little more low mid in there's space for more low mids in the synth kind of section of the music. And then don't rush the hi-hat timing, maybe make it a little bit longer. And we could be good to go. Oh, Windy Beats, that's a mix set from my friend DJ Alias. Oliver, OSP, who do we got lined up today? Is there anybody else who needs to leave? Because I could bump your track up earlier. So let me know if you need me to play. I always like to play tracks from people who are here, but it looks like everybody's here. So, OSP, nice to see you back. We've been waiting for a new track from you. I can't wait for that kick drum. Ooh, that came in inside out. I was expecting it on the other beat. There's the downbeat. And another first impression is that kick is so huge and low. It's like woof, woof. I'm gonna need some help from other people on a big sound system to hear this. All right, I'm gonna bring down the low EQ a little bit and boost level. Because I can feel that my headphones are not able to work with that 26, 30 hertz kick. This is great. The chords and the rhythm. Yes. That's the rhythm. Yeah, when the kick drum comes in inside out, it's so tricky and fun. I thought the downbeat was on the other whole beat. And now this synth is great. Almost has like a dubby kind of feel. That double bass note has it like it anchors you like really in the beat. Little EQ on the highs. Okay, right here. I'm feeling something like the whole drum mix I would like to be sharper, brighter, a little bit louder. Not the high frequencies of it, but the mid-range where the conga slap is at 2.2K, 2.5K. I think the drum mix could be just brighter in the front. Maybe that 160, 170 could use a little notch right there so it doesn't get too like ruff, ruff, ruff. Ah ha ha! OSP rhythms. One more time, that little double, that was a nice build up. I think there's a new sound coming in right here. Wow, 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 wow. That, boom, 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 so good. DJ Waters, what are you doing? We have ruined DJ Waters. I think we're out to spoil this guy with down-tempo hardcore. Awesome. Okay, so Oliver, song structure is perfect right now. The builds, the feel, the vibe. It's just like, I just wanted to keep going, you know? Yeah, the main theme is so gripping. Boom, wow, boom, 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 boom. Good percussion changes, switching it up. Pivclip agrees, some air in the mix. I think that's how I was trying to say, like the drums could be more crisp and bright in the 2000 area. And I need some opinions on the kick drum. I think the kick has too much sub and it's like way down so low. On some sound systems, this is gonna be epic. For the average sound system, it might be too much like and not like a hard kick. And I like the ending is like. Oh, perfect. Oh, that's such a perfect ending with that one sound. It's like a dinosaur breathing. All right, I want to hear how the beat comes in again. There's a downbeat. Down. But at first I thought. I guess it did come in straight, but why did I expect it different? Yeah, when the kick first comes in, it's too much sub. It has a really cool crackle on top, though. Okay, here's EQ flat again. And it looks like the kick drum has body up to like 125 or something. And so the deep woob, right, is big down at 57. So personally, I would go to like 70 hertz and try to make the kick have the loudest part of the kick maybe be at 70 and put in a notch at 57 and 84, getting kind of clinical, and see if you can just zipper the kick and the sub so the kick is hitting harder at a little bit of a higher frequency and not having all of this peak energy. Right now it looks like the loudest part of the kick is like 30 hertz, which is super low. And that might be a situation to copy the kick channel and actually have two layered kick drums where one of them is just a hard knock that's like a goof, goof, and the sub is underneath it for the solid bump. Yeah, there's a lot of harmonics in the sub, and it's important to choose a kick drum that works with the sub bass. And you know, for that harmonic sub womb, honestly, you could get rid of the lowest part of it and have from like 90, have a high pass filter up to 90 hertz and get the volume up so that the sub, you still feel that like deep womb thing, but it's maybe not big at 57. Because for this style of music, the kick drum normally would be pretty big from like 65 down to 50, somewhere around 55 hertz would be like that. So you might have to make some choices on that. Okay, so you wanted it not to sound so much synthesized. Okay. I don't know, work on the low end a bit. I know you usually make amazing low end mixes, and this mix is pretty good for like a huge ass sound system. So maybe work on the kick drum and sub part and bring it back so it's low end tighter. And then the main stereo drum mix, I think, could be just louder. And maybe like turn up the whole drum mix and take the brightness down off of the top hi-hats a little bit. So we had... Let me cut the lows completely. Something just, if the drums were just a little bit more like this. And that's pretty extreme EQ. I have a mid-range boost, a high-end boost, and a low-end cut. But for just like a rough idea of how I think the mix is going to come together, it'd be like that, and then it'll be super playable on lots of sets with different systems, and it's going to sound awesome. And overall, the vibe is so cool, man, that hypnotic bass line thing. And of course, one more time, the OSP double kick drum after the build-up. 2, 3, 4. Is that like 2 beats in? 2, 3, 2. On the second bar of the drop, that double kick, deadly. It's going to wreck dance floors in a good way. Machine Soul sounded good on crappy speakers. Well, that's good. Yeah, that's another strategy, actually. If you want something to sound good on all kinds of speakers, just have low frequency all over the place and let the sound system do whatever it can. Cool. All right. Randy Adams, Know Your Turn. And there we have our 55 hertz kick drum. You can feel right away. It's like... And it's a shorter duration, too. It has an end almost, like... Oh, I'm maxing out my broadcast level, sorry. Turn on my headphones. All right, 640, got the bass line in. This is nice and deep. I like the wet reverb kind of sound on that. Synth line. Yeah, I think these chords could be a little bit louder. Right here. Those chords, I would definitely put those up a little louder. That vocal sounds like Danette's. This is synth 3, I'm counting. We have the first chords and then a second thing. I think it could be more simple, honestly. We have the bass line and these chords have a really beautiful deep vibe. And I was so excited for this build up to come in with just exactly these sounds. Bass line, these chords, percussion, and then put the kick drum back in with a sweep or something. And that would be enough with the vocal as the new sound. So at the drop, I was expecting kick, chords, bass, drums, and a little vocal thing. Now right here at 2:14, that new sound, for me that's too soon. For me that new sound, I think I would be ready for that after like a drop with a little vocal thing and like 8 bars at least, or 16 bars. Because now we have the original chords and the vocal thing and the new chord synth. It's like 3 sounds when you only need 2. And now here's like a new 4th sound. Each one of the sounds is cool by itself, but on top of each other, they're kind of coming too soon. So I would space these out in time. Like instead of trying to put them in the same frequency range with EQ and stereo and stuff, it feels crowded. So I would try to space them apart in time. Just let each one go for a while, like 32 bars or something, and then fade it down and put in another one that takes the song to a new direction, which means it stays interesting towards the middle and the end. And I was talking right here. This groove is good. Yeah, that's good right there. It's like back to simplicity again. And Scott's comment about the bass line bubbling is great. All right. The bass and the groove and the drums are totally good. I think the synth layers need to be spaced apart so we only hear one at a time. And personally, I don't think you need as many synth parts in this track because the basic simplicity is enough. I want to just refresh my ear. This part is so simple and deep, like I could really get lost in this in a good way. If those chords were a little bit louder and you take the whole track with bass line and percussion changes and the vocal sample, I really think that would be enough. And then when you get to this ending part, have like one new sound come in to add that extra energy for the end of the track. Less is more, you know? And a part that I thought was really cool was right here. The way the voice and this fast synth are going together is a nice combination. Right here. That's a good combination of 2 sounds together. Yeah, Scott, that's a good point. Is like the call and response is a nice technique. And then have the extra layers like just a little bit, you know. The groove is amazing. That's like the feel I get. Really steady. Yeah, Randy's grooves are always totally killer. The way that vocal sample is chopped up like the same as the conga drum. That's really good. That bass line. Do 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 do. And where was the conga? That's awesome. I really like the vocal sample a lot. I think the vocal fits together with everything else. The opening chords are my favorite chords, and you could do just that and like one more synth sound. I think it would be enough because the groove is still totally solid. Oh, Max, you think one drum layer is off? What's the drum layer that doesn't fit for you? Because for me, the drums, I didn't notice any rhythm details. Yeah, Scott, exactly. Vocal matches conga matches bass. That's where you get that locked in. Okay, I hear right at 608, there's like a blop, blop, blop. There was one percussion that sounded like a little bit of a bubbly sound, but for me, all the drums fit together. I didn't feel any micro timing rhythm problems with the drums. Maybe the bass line, you could do a little EQ work down there in the sub range. But for me, the kick and the bass line fit together for deep house, where the bass line is like quiet but deep, so you can feel it the whole time, and the chords together. This groove is my favorite part. And then if we had that little vocal, yeah. Cool. Randy, fucking solid, man. The grooves you're making are always so good. Just, it's okay to keep it simple and not add quite so many ideas, and it will be plenty enough. So speaking of layers, maybe a reverse reverb on the synth. Yeah, there was like some little rhythmic thing, but it didn't strike me as a problem. It was just like, like bubbly groove. Bubbly groove, like popping champagne in your breakfast. Donats, wake up in Australia. Telepathically join our stream. Been hearing a little bit of analog fuzz on the top end of the Donats tracks right now. And I'm looking right here. I like that EQ notch at 170. And it looks like he might have even been putting a bass line right in that EQ notch. Nice job. Hi-hat's a little louder because the clap is louder than the hi-hats, so I would put the hi-hats up a little bit. Yeah, Randy, that's a perfect comment. Leave it for a few days, come back to it, and hear it fresh. That's exactly what you do in this situation, is come back to it and just ask, how does it feel after 3 days or something? Totally, that's perfect. Oh, Pivclit sounds like a Prince beat from the 80s. She wore a raspberry beret. That vocal is nice and clear. Yeah. I hear some filters moving, opening up something. That was cool. That was like a subtle entry into this breakdown with that filter opening. Yeah, you're gonna hire me to stop singing. Nice effect space. Whoa. It's kind of like background ambient space. Nice and simple too. Kick drum, bass line, chords, and a vocal. And then sweeping that filter around on the chord sample, and that's like enough, right? Nice and spacey delay. And there's a new percussion coming in. That's perfect. I like the hi-hat swing. Right there. That's a good bounce. Let me go back right here. Right on those chords, I just boosted up the EQ at like 700 hertz. Same comment as Matt Schultz, that chord sound could have a little more low end in it. Thicken it up so it's not quite as a mid-rangey sound. It could have more like body on it, you know, down to 300 hertz or something like that. Because the bass line is down below it. Just that little mid area below the vocal and above the bass line, that chord could take a whole big chunk of that level. What was happening here? This was getting exciting, those like that disco strings kind of loop. .427, I was expecting something like a more epic crash or whatever. Could you do something like cut one of the kick drums and do a crash? Because this feels like a really effective buildup. I was like picking up on it. I'm gonna cut the kick on the EQ. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Just a simple thing like that. Cut one kick drum beat and drop a crash on 428. And that'll be like, give it to me. Maybe it's gonna happen here. And that crash was a little late and not loud enough. But it was the right thing. There you go, bring it back in with the reverse crash. And perfect, now we're into the outro part. The percussion almost has like a Latin cowbell feel. Working out that delay, man. Teasing the beat in and out. Solid total mix out groove right here. Start bringing in the new record. And fading it down. Okay. I love it. I feel like Adam's been stretching out delays and getting spacier and spacier over the last year, which is cool. Okay, biggest thing I want to have happen in this track, seriously, is just squeeze all the juice out of this filter buildup and hype the shit out of it and then drop a crash on there. Because this is like up, 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 2, 3, 4. Everything about that is perfect except for just cutting out the kick drum and adding a crash to accentuate even more like this is a moment. And wait. Okay. 2, 3, 4. Is that going to be 16? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 10, 9, 11, 12. No. All right, the filter buildup and everything at from bars 9 to 12 at this section is perfect, but that should happen from 13 to 16 and have the crash on 17 bars after this. So from 404, where that first kick drum comes back in, make that section 16 bars, culminate in that filter sweep and build up and crash, and then basically you could even have that go to there. So could you have this whole section right here from 404 to 450, have that be one section of beats that does that one big filter sweep build up with the little vocal thing and the delay and the echo and the crash, and then go into this breakdown? Because right now it's a little off that it's like there's 8 bars and then a 4 bar build up. And then here, 2, 2, 2, 4, 5, 6. Now it's like building up again. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so this whole section is really interesting. There's two 12-bar sections where it's like an 8-bar groove and a 4-bar build-up, and then another 8-bar groove and a 4-bar build-up to make 24 bars with 2 small waves. And what I think for this style of music, what would be even more effective would be like a 32-bar chunk that has a massive build-up and event at the end of it, and do like one long ramp that gets up there, because this one is kind of like a ramp to something really cool, and then it falls down low, and then it ramps up again, but it never gets to like the highest emotional part that it could. And the ingredients in this build-up are all there to make a huge classic like disco house music strobe lights event in the music. So I would love it if this section could just build up all those elements in one place to the highest possible peak. And you could do it in 16 bars or 32 bars. But the 12 plus 12 thing with two smaller buildups just is not bad. It's cool. Like, I get it. I'm like, yeah, but I was let down a little bit after this part. And I was like, oh, where's my crash cymbal? You saw me go through that whole reaction. And I was like, yeah. So that's my song structure advice for this one. Please let me know if that makes sense. Because I want it to just be simple and like, cool. Barry and Sharon would be Baza and Shaza. All right. Scott, would you be Skaza? And notice, what's the title? Stripped Back Mix. So maybe the theme for today, less is more, keep it simple, put the parts together, and then press play. Like I'm about to do on this next track. Here we go, EQ flat, doink.
Everyone.
SoundCloud ads. Okay, everybody, guess what? It's time to talk about the Mixatexture member site. Now, you've heard me talk about this a lot before, that I have online courses where you can download activities to learn about EQing, mixing, sound design, and stuff like that, escaping the 8-bar loop. What's coming up that's going to be different? I really like showing my sessions, doing tutorials, and showing how I apply the techniques, even if it's just EQing a conga loop or something. So what I'm going to be doing going forward, and I want some feedback from people, is basically teaching elements of my courses as live videos where we can do demonstrations, Q&A, and almost a little bit of track feedback, but like kind of do like situations of how to apply a technique in a real track, and then have people who can take the courses and do them as homework on their own, use it in tracks, bring them in for track feedback, and be part of the Q&A videos where I show a technique and then we talk about it as like a group, and maybe have month blocks where it's like you sign up for a 1-month thing. Every week we do a new module, hit some techniques, do some feedback and reviews, and you have homework so that you have a deadline to get shit done. I know that helps me a lot in my life to like finish stuff if I have a deadline. So I'm thinking about this format of having like month-long sign-up sections for each of the courses. And then people who want to learn about it come in, do a really intense month of just working on this one part of production for a month, and then taking all the skills and applying them outwards. So that's what I'm working on. And developing some new stuff in the member site and the YouTube channel and Discord. Basically, again, putting all the pieces together. So we have Discord for the community, YouTube for the streams, the member site for the online part of the courses. The only piece that's left out is Facebook. It's going to be a little bit sad, but and I like Facebook for contact and stuff. It might be time for the universe to migrate. So Facebook maybe I'll use Facebook as kind of like the front end for just promoting and inviting people into stuff, and then have the core of the material in another dimension. So that's the news. Just giving you a little news. That's how you drop a beat. Yeah. But I would love a comment from anybody if you think it's a good idea to do guided courses over a period of a month where people take specific lessons week by week. Let me know if you're interested in that, because I think that would be fun to teach and really have a tight relationship between what you're learning, what I'm demonstrating, and getting tracks done. This sounds so good. Got me. I got tricked. I thought it was going to drop faster. Nice false drop. This ear candy is amazing. And somehow those hi-hats layered up after that last sweep. Something in the percussion came up a level. Yeah, that vocal, Ian. Push the volume. Ooh, 130? 132? Yes. This sounds so amazing. This sounds like a mastered release already. Is this like version 7 or something?
Any medications prescribed or administered?
138, really?
You can be truthful or judge. In fact, if the answer is no, I may encourage some drug use.
totally fixed. The first time we heard this on Saturday, I remember after that build-up, the first section, it was a little empty, and we were kind of talking about taking the lead in the vocal thing and moving them. That was just perfect. Now, introducing this lead and using that as a build-up to get into that drop section. Total sweep of vibes. Yeah, it's really well made. You can even see the frequency curve. It's so smooth. Watch after my voice stops. You can hear everything. Like I think about it as like every frequency band is full of something that's balanced with the stuff around it. We have that one lead synth coming up like right in the middle of the mids, 1000, 2000. And the bass and drums ending, I love it. A little bit scary, a little bit dark. Forest type style. Buttery cymbals too. It's like the cymbals are big but very smooth. Wait. Is there a gate on that cymbal? I heard that before, and I was surprised at how the cymbal stopped. Like, the end of the cymbal sounds like it got cut off, like the sample just ran out. I mean, it's not really a problem, but when everything else in the track is so perfectly smooth, it's the only comment I have for the whole entire track are those two places with the crash. It feels like the crash needs a decay, a volume decay to like just smoothly fade into silence. It can be a short crash. It doesn't have to be a longer duration, but it just goes and it's like a gate kicked in or the sample got to the end or something got skipped or cut off, and that's the only thing that sounded unnatural. And I want to hear this build up again. I love this middle part. Okay, so that was not on purpose. All right, good. The way this sound comes in and leads to this drop with that reverse bass beat, listen to the whoop that sucks you in. It's like zoop. I think that's what it would feel like to be a magnet and get attracted by another magnet where it's getting closer and closer and it goes whoop, and then you're like stuck together. Which I'm sure makes perfect sense to everybody. Dude, claps for this track. It's done basically. One little thing. And awesome vibes, super good production. Is Morton here? He was playing a gig, right? So let's do Envelope Follower version 2. I think Mindbender is traveling or he's playing shows with the headphones on at the Clock Club. There was like all the clocks in the background. That looked fun. Okay, EQ is flat. What is happening? Dream sequence from another planet. That's what's happening. Yeah, Scott, Event Horizon into the black hole. Zoop. First off, before I forget, this opening part, I like it at the volume right here. Get ready when the beats kick in, they're going to be too loud. That synth is so cool, it needs to be louder, so you can take the whole drum mix down, put the synths up, and let us get a full synth world of space. Okay, that new kick drum threw me off a little bit. It fits in the mix okay, but the volume of it is a little louder compared to the other one. This beat has like a 1-2 kind of feel. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, early electro clash, right? Boom. Yeah. This track is raw. All these sounds are really interesting. Sound design is great on this one. Now I'm getting how the groove goes. There's a big pulse. That's like on the halftime. Really interesting. It is very much like a dream space thing. I like this groove a lot. With a big downbeat, boom. That big downbeat anchors all the chaos of the synths. Yeah, some of the high frequency stuff is very spiky. So that's where I would actually use a compressor, like a 10-to-1 ratio, like a limiter, with a very short attack time, 10 milliseconds or 5 milliseconds attack time on a group of those synths. So any of those spikes are going to come up and really get brought down before they peak up too much. And that one right there at 1.1K, 1.2 felt particularly like... Interesting. I hear a new hi-hat layer. Ticka, 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 ticka. That's good. Yeah, there was a cool melody that came in. All right, this is a great track. I like how it's harmonically, it's not like a music theory track. You can't explain it with theory. There's no bass line or chords or melody. There's just sound coming in and out and rhythm. So the sound design is like the whole track and the rhythms of how things are playing together and the space that you're in. So it makes it interesting. Some of these frequencies though, I would really group, and I say this a lot, really group the instruments into a stereo bus and then work on that bus with EQ, compression, even de-essing, even 3 de-essers at particular points, so those spikes are going to get hit with a specific frequency control and get it so it feels more even, because it can be random and chaotic in time, but when the frequency spikes are different volumes, that's where it gets it's like your ear pressure gets kind of like pushed too far in different directions. And overall, let's take the kick drum down and turn up. So here's this last section with bass EQ down a little bit and turning up the level. And I'm gonna duck some of the highs. So I rolled off the high shelf, rolled off the low shelf, and even cut out like 3.5K the mids. And that's a little bit more like the mix picture I think would really represent this track well. And there's still tons of kick drum with like a 6 dB cut. And the groove is great. Yeah, those spiky percussion. So let's go back to the beginning and just ask, how did we get into that groove, right? This sounds like a Casio organ drum beat, right? Like the swing beat. Scott, yeah, dynamic EQ for taming, exactly. That kind of a process. And the main beat is like doom, 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 right? At this part, I'm a little inside out. I'm not sure where the downbeat is or where the main beat is going to be. And it takes a little bit to even out. And then by 2 minutes in, it's rhythmically kind of more anchored, like doom, 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 doom. So, okay, what I would do is bring down the drum mix. Like my first reaction was bring down the drum mix, get the synth mix up because the delay, echoes, and space were really cool. The dreamy feeling is totally coming through as the vibe of the track. And we talked about EQing some of this stuff. It does drag you in. I don't think you should touch the arrangement, actually. The whole song flow, the way it changes and kind of oozes and stuff, no comment, perfect, done. Just work on the mix and just kind of smooth it out so it's basically easier for the average listener to enjoy it without being an audio engineer to tweak shit. Scott Burke, frequency taming plugins. Yeah, there's a lot of good tools available for sure. All right, 1 o'clock. Let's keep cruising. The Mindbender, Fever Called Love, EQ flat, stereo width. Wait, what? Okay. Got some hi-hat rolls on there. Look at that snare drum. This kick drum is so cool. It's very short duration and pretty low. Feels like it's compressed with a pretty long attack time, so it has that like... So Oliver, if you're still here, this kick drum picture is a little bit like what I was feeling for your track would help. That fast, like a real impact kick. And look how the bass line has its own little range right there. Early Autechre, right? The vocal sounds beautiful for the volume and the frequency. The stereo panning of the vocal, for me, the vocal is moving a little bit too much, like too wide. Oliver, I'm not sure what you meant about the kick sounding synthesized. Is the kick that you have, or the one that Martin is using here, does this sound like it's too much of a synthesized kick? Go mono. Yeah, the beat is the vocal is like da 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 da, like triplets that are dragging a little. Let's go back stereo. That little string layer can be louder. Right here, this string sound. Yeah, the acid lead does get to some loud, spiky parts. I think we've gotten to know from Mindbender's music that the lead is usually going to be the bigger thing compared to the hi-hats and snares. So I've sort of acclimated myself to that. Oh, Oliver, thanks for the answer. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, wow, you guys played this out last night. Worked well. 303 felt a little bit aggressive on the mids on that system. Yeah, it's so much fun to tweak that filter, but when the filter opens up, all of a sudden your mix is shifting to be like a huge, like... This part is cool. I like the groove all the way through, it's cool. This part is nice and deep. I think this synth pad could come up a little bit too. Thank you. And we get a vocoder. And the chords are cool. This long pad, it goes down and resolves and back up. Nice little 3-chord cycle. Yeah, now we're doing some little boom bap type breakdance beats, right? long mix out. Cool. Doing the robot. Very cool. Okay. Number one for me. I like the vocal so much, and it's moving left, right more than I want to. It could do that. If there was one copy that was centered and maybe like filtered different or something, so we had like one little like center part and then have the other part moving left and right around it. I'm not sure how to explain why, but it's like harder to listen to the words when they're moving left and right so much. Does anybody else feel like the vocals panning has too wide of a pan, maybe? And right there, that lead, a little bit too buzzy. So I think Mindbender is going to know what to do with that. Control the filter sweeps to get the overall volume range a little smoother on the lead. And these little ARP plucks, those are cool. I guess basically all the other synths can come up a little bit and the lead can come down a little bit, so the acid buzz is not quite so loud compared to all the atmospheric synths. I know it's acid style and it's great. Yeah, cool. Drums are beautiful, mix is beautiful overall, and the structure is great. No comment on the whole timeline. That just flowed like through. So we're talking about basically tiny details of the mix because we like to talk about EQ all day long. Oh, DJ Waters. And then we got Ty Slackhouse, who's been building some acoustics. I love that conversation going on in Discord with the SonarWorks, the SonarWorks graph and the photos and the materials and the whole discussion about like this material is causing this change in the frequency range. SonarWorks is displaying the opposite bump. And then what Pivclit's been saying about how like you can only correct so much in SonarWorks before you get like smearing or, you know, phase shifting or something. That's a really interesting conversation. So, whoa, come back. DJ Waters, join us, the techno side. The snare sounds like New Order, right? When I first heard that snare, I was like, whoa, that's a big bounce. Okay, hold on. How about Steve shut up? That's a cool groove. This is a brand new track, right? I like the ticky groove and the percussion. The kick drums are kind of a little buried in like the mush, like. So I think like if you're probably doing kick drum layers, right? So the bumpy layer. And it's really cool that it's not a straight 4/4 kick. The kick I'm getting is like there's like little doubles on it, right? All right, Robert, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, this bass section, that low part is cool, but when the kick comes back, there's a little bit of low, like whoa, 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 whoa. Got a little carried away, no EQ yet. Okay, good, so we'll get the low end in shape. I'm digging the feel. Especially that sound that's like zika, 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 zika. Very steady and hypnotic. And that shit is great. Oh wow, that's interesting. Those locked groove records with just one loop on one band. This groove is great. Let me EQ the middle here. sound design shit is crazy. Yes. Another one. Dark bells. Now I get it. I gotta go back and tell you something right here. If you had that clicky thing right here, just keep doing that, I would be like totally taken in. The bass comes in. There was one I was like, cool. There was another one I thought it was cool. Now they start coming more and I was like, is he gonna do that? And then right here you did it, right here. Right here. If you kept that going, what would that turn into? And just kind of like drop the whole shit with that. Good work. Vocals beautiful. Okay, let's get back in. Here we go. Yeah, some of those clicks are a little bit off, like yeah, Oliver, the transition kick was too loud for the drop. That's why I was focused on it and I wanted it to keep going. This is great. I can hear that you're pulling out so many different layers of sounds and combining them together to feel how they vibe, how they fit. Nice high frequency thing. All these cool elements. What if you did it this time? The second time we hear that dive bomb kick, keep it going on the 4 beat and just lock in with the clicks maybe? And the vocal is cool. Right here. That can work too if you get the levels mixed a little bit better. Alright, super cool. And we got more layers and stuff. Those hi-hats are a bit off. Right here. That's great. There's so many interesting elements. There's the vocal, the fast clicky thing, the deep bass one, the kick drums that are like and this buzz. Those four I totally think you could do a section of the song with just those and then all the percussions and stuff and maybe the vocal. Really interesting. Cool. All right, bring that back when you have time to mix on it in between your Frenchcore sets. And that could almost split into 2 different tracks because there's so many things that are going on, but you could weave it together and have a story that goes through sections. Let's see what you want to do with that. Next, last, and finally, Thijs Slackhouse. Oh shit, this is a Canada remix. That's right. Brand new. This is from just like right now. That's EQ flat. Cranking out the production. So far, so good. Nice and big in the space. Ba-doom, boom, boom. Ba-doom, boom, boom. Got the groove. I like the bass pulse. And this is another one. You have some of the fast, high frequency synth, like the envelope follower track. It sounds a lot more controlled in your track and less random spiky. So it's a nice bubbling high frequency layer. Good, all the signals are in place in the arrangement. Pivclit bass sometimes clashing with the kick, needs a bit more sidechain. Yeah. Yeah, the kick drum could be a little more present and boop, boop, boop. I like that resonator feel. Whoa. Okay, not mixed yet. I'm glad you said that comment because that means you're aware of what's happening. The hi-hats are a little bit bright too. They're good, but they're like the brightest thing in the whole track by a lot. So I think those could come just tonally. Little less highs on the hi-hats. Wake up. The shaker adds a lot, nice rolling feel. Yeah, it does sound good. And I still don't know why, but it means a lot for me when the vocals keep coming from the same place every time. They don't have to be in the center, but I hear that vocal a little to the left, and I like it because it just stays in that place. This bass line is super cool. Dum, dum, boom, boom, Definitely got the groove. The has like a major key signature feel too. This like happiness of like the major scale. So Scott, are you like composing a whole new song form? I'm kind of curious of like how chopped up did you make it compared to the original? I don't remember, because this structure is cool. It feels like very natural and just like good. That synth is great. That synth is the one giving it the major scale feel. So very happy, like positive. The snare is really nice too. It's like flat and has a nice reverb on it, so it just keeps it. I really like how the snare is in the mix. Yeah, now you can kind of notice that this part of the bass line and the kick need a little work. Something a little boxy, or like 270, 280. Oh, how cool is that? It sounded really good already. And the kick by itself is solid. That's a good kick drum for this. So just check your bass layers and make sure that they're all gonna play nice with the kick drum. So the bass is original, the rest is new. And the synth lead, okay, cool. I just like the groove that you built so much. And the squeakies. And the pacing, like we had to wait a bit before we got the vocal. I didn't expect a vocal. And then it starts coming in. That's super cool. I think this could be, you could do like one more mix on this, bring it back, and then could be ready for mastering. Which leads us to the next topic, is publishing stuff on the first Mix of Texture compilation, which is coming out in about 6 weeks from now, I guess. It's the end of April, y'all. Tomorrow is May, right? April 30th, according to popular belief. So, thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Track Feedback, where we talk about sound design, song structure, and mixing. We're going to take like a little 10-minute break or 15-minute break, and then get right back on to do a label feedback crew thing. Give me some comments. Do you guys want to meet on video in Discord? No, I can't. I got to stream from here because I got another Ableton project with the new tracks that came in. So I'll pop a link into the label feedback and have a spontaneous unlisted stream so we can listen to a couple tracks. And the main question I have is, which compilation are we going to release first? It's basically between house and techno, and we're defining a label concept of compilations that have a theme, so that when people go into that one, they get a bunch of stuff that's all playable together, that they can kind of have an idea of how it fits into the rest of their world. So let's check the label feedback channel in Discord for our crew people. We'll have a quick meeting in 15 minutes. I need a quick little break, get a new cup of coffee, organize my life. Yeah, so YouTube. So I'll drop a YouTube link in a couple minutes. What a vibe. And I always, from the beginning, that Ty Slackhouse has had this mountain vibe. He'll like show pictures of mountains and have mountaineering quotes or something. So now I always think of like the big clouds, like big sky, and like mountain space, where it's all beautiful and epic, but you could also like totally die if you fuck up. Gotta watch out for that. The heaviness, and the ending. Cool. Nice job, Scott. Sound is really good. So that's it for right now. Let's take 15-minute breaks, check Discord, and I'll see you all right back here in a couple of minutes. Bye.